Hello loves, it's Britt, and in this video I want to talk about what it means to have your natal Saturn in Scorpio. I've wanted to make this video for a while. Saturn in the water signs is, Liz Green says, the placement that shows the most emotional suffering. So Saturn in any sign shows difficulties. It shows hard challenges that lead to character building and success, and actually end up being our greatest gifts in a way, but not without the hard work and the Capricornian Saturnian struggle first, right? So Saturn in the water signs shows an emotional conflict present, okay, more than anything in an outer world. It's more of an internal emotional conflict. Now, people with Saturn in Scorpio have a great intensity about pretty much all things. They're definitely incredibly powerful. They have huge willpower when they set their mind to something, and when they are emotionally involved in some goal, they can go all the way with it, and they can be some of the most determined people, even more than Saturn and Capricorn, because it's so emotional and fixed, the energy of Scorpio and Saturn, that they can really be some incredibly powerful, persevering people with whatever the goal is that they've set out for. The difficulties with this one comes in the realm of relationships often, and sexual relationships. It's common, or I've seen this commonly placed, even just in the sign of Scorpio, Saturn and Scorpio, even though it's, sort of, well, Saturn's not really a generational planet, but, it's a few years in a sign, but I have seen people struggling, being single for a long time, or not really having that one-on-one intimate relationship that they so desire to have. In Saturn and Scorpio can sometimes show that they don't have that, or if they do have that, there's great difficulties within it. And I feel almost bad saying that, but this is just what I've observed. Obviously, that's not a hard fact. Like, you will never have a intimate love relationship. No, I would never say that to anyone. But I've just noticed that realm comes difficult for these people. So when we have Saturn, the planet of limitations, restrictions, in that sign of Scorpio, which represents the sex organs, it represents intimacy on the deepest 8th house level, sharing with a partner. So that type of, soul closeness and sexual bond that we see with Scorpio, that is something they so deeply want and crave, but at the same time, they're very fearful of it. They feel very awkward. There can be a sexual awkwardness with this placement where they're really uncomfortable with that physical act. Or I've also seen the opposite, an overcompensation. So we have the sex addicts, or the person who just is obsessed with all things sexual and taboo and dark, and having lots of sexual affairs, not as many with the actual depth of closeness. I've seen that in men with this placement. So these are all just some examples. Obviously, it can play out very differently depending on the qualities of the personal natal chart. The other thing that I've noticed about this placement is the emotional suffering. It's usually kept to themselves. So when you see this placement in someone's chart, they're not usually out there, posting on Facebook, oh my God, I need some help right now, I'm really emotionally struggling. It's not that kind of energy. It's something that is so deep and so internal that maybe sometimes they don't even realize that it's in them. It's so unconscious. The suffering is so deep within that they sometimes can't even articulate it. So I would recommend this placement, and actually I would recommend all people of Saturn in the water signs to do some type of emotional healing work, whether it's, energy healing, or whether it's a more traditional, therapy, or, some type of looking within, meditation, hypnosis, something to, like, I'm getting the image of, like, you got to drudge up that stuff, like clean the pipes, like the emotions become so crystallized in the body, like it becomes so, like, you're holding this, like this pain, right? And with this placement of Saturn and Scorpio, there can be resentment. There can be, like, the feelings are so passionate and so intense that they can hold on to a resentment, like, for a lifetime. And that is really hard on the body, right? Where they're just like, they're filled with that anger. And people can feel that from them too. That's the thing, is people can feel that they have this seething emotional energy. And this can be a part of why there's intimacy issues, because the energy is just not warm. It's not inviting to others, because it's carrying so much pain and blocked emotions and all that. And so that, like, might sound harsh, and I'm going to talk about the positive side of this too. Don't worry, don't lose me here. Sorry, my dog's barking. So that can be a big part of the block to intimacy, is just that energy that they're containing. But on the other side of this is a person with so much depth and caring for others. Like, this is the person that can remember your birthday, that can, remember every single detail about your life that you've ever told them. And when they come into their heart and they heal, the resentment, or they heal the inadequacy feelings that they have, they can actually be some of the most caring, deep lovers. And this can come out with family. They can, be incredibly caring, deep, and kind with their family. And when they do have an intimate relationship, because this is one of the areas that is so hard for them, it's so serious for them, they can be so loyal and so committed and so, like, the best partner ever, because this is that area of their life that they've come to master. They've come to master the sex, the emotional intimacy, the feelings of sharing and depth with another. So when they do get the outlet to really express that, can you see what I mean of how amazing they can truly be as humans? And so a lot depends on their level of soul involvement as well. With Scorpio placements in any planet, we have the chance for things to be the lowest of low or the highest of high, right? The angel or the devil. That's what we can see with Scorpio placements. So that's something to really consider with this placement. It depends on your choices. How are you going to use this energy, right? Are you going to be bitter and resentful and oh my god, my dog's so annoying, I'm so sorry. Must be someone out there, but I'll check after. Or are you going to really heal yourself and heal that deep wounding in yourself and soul, and recognize that you are fully adequate to be in an amazing, deep sexual relationship and to have these deep emotional exchanges with other people. And also we can see with this placement too, financial issues. There could be fears around finances, and that could be another area where we're really grippy, we really hold on tight, like, oh my god, I have $1 and I'm gonna, like, hold on to it, I'm never gonna let it out of my sight, I'm gonna hold this dollar, like, and just, there can be that tendency to be very worried, right? Because it's all coming down to this security fear with this placement. So the best advice that I could give this placement is to tend to their internal world, because likely there's some trauma, there's something from past life, there's something from present life that has really traumatized them and made them super grippy and fearful and, like, hidden, right? Like, they won't show that they're emotional, but they are, and it, gets all stuck in the body, right? So my advice to them, it would be, some type of even yoga could be really, really beneficial. Some type of healing, some type of hypnosis therapy, anything that can really get those emotions out of the body, right? Like I'm imagining doing like, when you do yoga, maybe you're not into yoga, but just imagine another example then. But you can do like hip openers in yoga, and the hips hold a lot of emotions. And, when you do those hip opener poses, it breaks open the muscle or whatever, and the emotion comes out, right? That's what I feel like all people with Saturn and Scorpio need to do, is something to get those emotions flowing. And then once they do that, these people can be great therapists, counselors. They can work well with finances as well, and be these really emotionally present people where like you can confide in them, they can understand, they can empathize, they can really help you get all the deep dark stuff out of you, right? So they can be this truly emotionally supportive friend and lover because they've gone through it. Like, oh my God, people with this placement, they have really gone through it. Okay, and it doesn't show an easy life with this placement. I truly feel like, like Liz Green said, Saturn in the water signs shows the most emotional suffering. We all suffer, right? But Saturn in the water signs shows that the suffering is emotional. But of course, that leads us to our greatest gift: emotional intelligence, depth, power. Because someone who's mastered their emotional field becomes a very powerful person. And people with Saturn and Scorpio can be so incredibly powerful, resourceful, successful, because there's that determination and grit to just get it done. Whatever the goal is, they want to go all the way with it, and they want to go deep, and they want to go hard right till the end. They just want it, right? Because there's so much passion. So really powerful placement, very difficult placement. I hope I've done all right at explaining it. I wanted to do this for a while. It's just another one of those placements. It's just like, wow, when you see it, yeah, people have a lot to learn and a lot to grow from. But hey, that's what all the strong souls have come here to do. We come here to really get in there and process these emotions. So hope that was helpful. I offer one-on-one sessions. My link is below. I offer a one-on-one soul purpose session, and I also offer a synastry session, so a relationship chart comparison. You can book those at the link below, and we'll talk super soon, you guys. Love you guys. Bye.